We're live.
Right now?
Yeah, it says we're live.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the live stream for the Let's Get Live channel. Today, we're talking about the new Apple M1 Mac Mini. A lot of rumblings and things been going on in regards to whether or not you should get it. Is it good for live streaming? Is it good for just regular use? And what is the purpose of getting a new M1 machine if you already have MacBook Pro? Maybe you got one even 2 years ago, and so it's working good for you, and maybe you don't really feel like you need to get one. So I just want to have some conversation and dialogue around that. And if it's like, what's the deal with the new M1 machine? We're here with the hosts. You got David Blackman, Doc Rock, and Lemuel AU2. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're surviving. We're surviving. Doing great, Diana.
Awesome.
Getting to work with Ecamm live.
There you go. Lim, you're muted as always. Doc Rock, how you doing today, brother? Also, no audio.
All of a sudden,
no, he's
there. We go.
I'm there. I didn't press anything. Yeah, good, and ready to dive into this. So let's keep it short and fast and to the point, so everybody can, we respect your time, so we want to be able to just power through this really quickly. But of course, you could always reach out to us in any of our myriad socials, which is down in the description, and then we can answer further questions if you have.
100%. So, Doc, you were the first one to get the new M1 machine. So, and you also used to work for Mac. So, what
Mac is makeup?
My apologies. We're gonna speak properly around these streets. Okay.
No, that was one of my that was one of my favorite statements when I work in the store. Like, don't you work in the Mac store? I'll be like, no, girl, I don't sell eyeshadow, but I do sell computers. So
you're right. We'll get you the best lip. If you're looking for the best lip gloss in town, you need to hit up Doc Rock for all of your lip gloss needs. You can get but yeah. So you worked at
the smart ones will come back,
store.
But it's eyeshadow at the Apple store, not eyeshadow. Anyway, the good.
So, but you worked at the Apple store. You worked you worked for Apple. How about that? You worked with Apple, even when they launched a lot of their great products that we all are used to own and stuff like that. So when the M1s came out, and we know Ecamm got early access to it to have it ready when it dropped. But what prompted you specifically, especially not working there anymore or anything like that? What prompted you to go ahead and get the M1 machine?
Okay, this is going to sound super funny, and I know people got their little feels and stuff, but facts is facts. Out of probably the last 40 products they've ever dropped, they normally don't screw it up. It just doesn't happen. It happens once in a while, but it's been super far removed, super rare. Now, people will always, because everyone wants to topple the giant, people will always come in, have their little weird crybaby moments in their imaginations and make up gates that don't really exist, or, go on their YouTube channel and try to bend a phone. You can pretty much bend any piece of aluminum. So putting all of the histrionics aside, they have a very decent track record. I mean, as much as I hate Tom Brady, if he's in the Super Bowl, it's a decent bet. Like even against Patrick Mahomes, sad to say, can't stand him. It's just one of those things. And so, like, the technology was exciting, the price point was incredible, and Apple normally does what they do, and it's a mindset thing for the people who sit around and like, oh, I'm always going to wait until the next one. Like, go ahead, knock yourself out. I'm going to run directly past you, and I'll be at the 3,000-yard line when you step up to the starting block. It's okay. Stay back there. Stay out of my way. I'm going. You either come with me or you stay back there. You know me. You're either in or you're in the way.
You're in the way. Yeah. So, David, I know you run a company, several companies. You do a lot of work. Even getting into a lot of live streaming type of content, and you really have upped your game when it comes to content production. Have your own YouTube channel called The Digital Buddha, and I noticed that you also got the M1 Mac Mini machine. And I know sometimes entrepreneurs and content creators that are doing a lot of work will say, and even I've said this, like, I can't bottleneck my systems, or I can't let something kind of get in the way. But you also went ahead and adopted that M1 early on. So what prompted you to go ahead and get it?
Doc.
I knew he was going to blame me. I knew he was going to
look,
me.
Here. I will answer that, Diana. Because I buy computers all the time for my team, for myself. I stay up with the latest technology. And you know, as much as I don't act like a tech nerd, I really am. And I, you know, when Doc started talking about this M1 Mac Mini initially, I thought, okay, I want to just go ahead and test this thing, because I've got a 2018 iMac 27-inch and a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro that I was using to basically run the business. When I would go mobile, I'd grab the laptop, and I had the desktop and laptop at my desk. So when I plugged this thing in, started using it, which was mainly my theory was just to use it for live streaming. And what happened was this thing ran so many circles around my existing computers that they are now paperweights and collecting dust, unfortunately, in my office, because I won't even turn them on, because this thing is so amazingly fast. Now, is it perfect? Has it been perfect? No, it hasn't been perfect, because you know what? This new architecture that Apple has, this M1 technology, it's next generation, it's next level, and a lot of the other development companies, software developers and stuff haven't caught up, but a lot of them have. So I think it's only going to get better. I agree 100% with Doc Rock. You can be back there at the starting blocks, or you can come join us at the finish line, you know, if you're going to wait for the best product and stuff. So I hope that kind
That's good.
Okay, can I throw a vocal alignment into something you just said?
Absolutely.
Everyone always says that, you know, it's Apple's fault, but it's not. And I know why everyone says that, because two reasons why they always get the most trouble. Number one, they're the largest, they're the biggest, they're in the front, right? The front runner always gets looked up to. They try to take him down. My grandma used to say, the higher the monkey climb the mountain, the more his butt is exposed. Okay. So that means more people are looking up to try to, you know, knock the person off their thing.
Right.
Apple came out. I'm a developer account person, right? So Apple sends out emails like in developer announcements way in advance, before even WWDC. We got something big coming up. We're going to make some changes. If you're in the middle of your projects, here's a line you should be following, so that when we make the official announcement, you'll be ready to go. Many developers follow the rules. They look at the other stuff. They watch the webinars. They're ready, right? So in June, when WWDC happens, and they say, okay, here, gang, here's the M1. Here's what we're going to do. This is going to be, you know, game changing. Here's how you adjust your code. They even put tools in to make it super simple to adjust your code. And again, the developers that were on point, they made their changes. And the other developers just chose not to, because for whatever reason. So there was probably 7-8 months worth of leeway for developers to get their apps ready. Now, you take an app like Ecamm, 2 developers, 2 dudes by themselves, right? They followed suit. They bought the development machine in June. The M1 for developers came out in June. They had one that very first week. They started rewriting Ecamm for the M1. So when November came and the boxes came out, they're like, "Pajang, we ready."
Right.
Right.
You know? And then a lot of the other developers didn't. And people are like, well, Apple screwed up because they did. No, they told you, bro. They told you. It's like if your mama say, if you leave your clothes outside one more time, I'm going to throw that mess away. And then you come in, hey, mom, where my jeans at? Oh, I threw them away.
Yeah.
Why? Because you left them in the dining room. But those are my favorite jeans, mama. No, I done told you, boy. You know, I don't know how y'all kids got along, but hey, I'll be wearing my sister's dress to school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, so many things wrong with it. And was it a sunflower dress, or was it, you know,
Oh, I
Was
didn't
it
have to.
what?
I'm just saying, if you push the envelope too far after you have been
Yeah, you
properly told,
stuck
that's
like
on
Chuck.
you. That's on you.
Yep.
And I know like David, he's Zen, so he don't understand it like that. But I think if we as the people who are people listening to, we as say vocal folks, we have to correct the language to help the other people correct the language, so they're not feeling like they are victimized by Apple. Apple gave everybody warning, even in Adobe, right? Lightroom team was like, "We ready." Everybody else in Adobe was like, "Oh, we're not ready yet." And so Adobe said, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna let everyone know Lightroom is ready." And so photographers were good, but other people like Illustrator, it still ain't ready. And I'm kind of irritated because I pay Adobe money. They got no business not being ready.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Our whole team uses
Infinity Designer is looking good.
Yeah, our whole team uses Creative Cloud, and honestly, in December when I got this Mac One M1 Mac Mini, English as Doc says, I got two of them. One under the desk that's running this show, running my computer right now, and then this one that I'm going to tie together. But I went ahead and invested because it was that awesome and bought my entire team M1 processors. So I think well, not my entire team. I take that back. 1/3 of our team.
It's significant enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Significant enough. The creative team. And we use Creative Cloud and Adobe products as our primary, creative tool.
It still work, right?
And it works fine. It's got some bugs still, but you know what? Adobe, I think, Doc, has pushed out some updates faster than they've ever pushed out updates
True
before.
story.
Because
they have been on the hustle.
Yeah.
Because they got yelled at by us. That's why. But they shouldn't have got yelled at. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Adobe
I got one question.
Go ahead.
I just got one question. So I know, like with Ecamm, they have the built-in, like with the Canon cameras, you can connect your camera via USB. So all those integrations, when you said Ecamm worked on the development, all that stuff still worked for the M1 machines, correct?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. So my question is, Lim, did you know that the ZV-1 would work with the Mac Mini?
Yes.
Lim, did you know that you could live stream with the USB using the Mac Mini using the ZV-1?
You know what? That's big, Diana. You casually speaking that, but the ability to go live and to use the ZV-1 with USB and have that 4K quality, is game changer. I mean,
it changed. That completely revitalized and absolutely, like, getting and switching to Mac in 2018 and getting Ecamm Live. I specifically bought Mac computers for one thing, or Apple computers for one thing. It was a MacBook Pro, and that was to use Ecamm Live and Final Cut Pro 10. And I wanted to get Ecamm Live before it went and changed anything else. And so I saw that everybody was going to subscription-based models and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I got to just jump the gun here, knowing nothing about Apple. And so even with the integrations of what they had before, it was a couple workarounds that completely revolutionized being able to create content and live streaming using Ecamm Live. And so when they had before any and this is significant, before any manufacturing company, any of them that actually create the cameras had any thought about live streaming via USB, Ecamm listened to the users and say, hey, don't you think, because I did a lot of beta testing back in 2018, still do, but a whole lot more heavier and severe, especially when it came in. It's like, yeah, we can. I'm like, can you think we can do that? Yeah, I think we can do that. Next thing you know, 2 days later, kind of a deal. And it's just like, hey, try this out. And that, it completely changed things. And so now you have Nikon, you have Sony, you have Panasonic, you have all these a wide array of camera, Olympus, that brands that it wasn't until the pandemic that they kicked that out. But Ecamm had that well in advance of anybody else. And that's, what I'm saying? So let alone with the M1 machines to come out and before anybody else have it, Ecamm have it. That's, that just kind of speaks to the developer team with Ken and Glenn for like the masterminds that they are.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Diana.
I think
Go ahead, Liam. Sorry.
Yeah, for the M1, I think when it comes to live streaming, what Mac has done is really forwarded the rest of us to 2021. You know what I mean? I think with the Mac coming out the way the way it's
That
supposed to
wasn't
come out
me.
with this incredible
No,
powerful machine that's
when Apple or Mac.
Apple.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Get
it
him,
was.
Doc. Get him, Doc.
When Apple came out with this machine, it really forwarded and is making live streaming really more tangible to the common person, so to speak. You know, it's not like a $3,000 machine or the MacBook Pros that were being sold then, that you had to have such a high grade and high level fast moving machine that is worth or costing you $2,000-$3,000. Now you're talking about a machine that's only like $650,
Right.
and that
That's
can really
insane.
run multiple cameras, run multiple monitors, as fast
That's
and
the key,
intuitive.
man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
That's the
insane.
key that people are not speaking on right now. It's the fact that the bar has been very much lowered
Mhm.
for okay, so back in, let's say, August, right, when myself and Markeith and Marshall, Bradley, like Eliseo, all of us got brand new 2020 iMacs fully loaded. Kirk, Anthony, a bunch of us, like, and
Mhm.
everyone was like, "Oh man, you guys, are so lucky. Your streams are so smooth, and this and that and this and that." Like, everybody was just over it. Like, I wish I could, right?
Right.
And then literally a month and a half later, a box came out that's 700 bones that's able to do what we were doing with this beast
Right.
that I'm speaking to you on right now.
Yeah.
So it happened right away, right? And like Dave said, it's an investment in your streaming.
Yeah.
In your streaming.
Yeah,
game.
Will and Dave is
that's
right here. Sometimes it's the least expensive, probably in the way you're building up your streaming gear and your streaming arsenal. It's probably the least expensive, yet it is the core element of your streaming, obviously, because you need to run the software. It's incredible.
And even if you're not streaming, it's a core element of any business is your computer, right? There are literally people sitting out here every day complaining about, what's happening with the market and this and that. And there's other things that they're complaining about in their business that they're heavily focused on, but their IT is sliding. But IT holds up just about every business. I mean,
Right.
I don't care what you're doing. Almost every
Yeah.
business
Right.
out there is
Right.
held up to some extent by IT. And then
Yeah.
so, like, why even if all you wanted to do was be a court stenographer, bro, like, I would
Mhm.
drop 700 bones on an M1 because it's quick. And
Right.
no one ever talks about the fact that it runs the iPad apps as well. Okay.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's why I got an iPhone.
Ooh.
That's why I got an iPhone.
Ms.
And now I
Diana,
got
did
to
you
watch,
know
and
that
I'm
the
in it to
M1
win it. But you know what? It's like, here's the thing. When you look at from what Ecamm Live has done for me as a content creator, and more specifically a content creating entrepreneur, again, it's a game changer because, and I know that phrase gets thrown around a lot, and sometimes people say something's a game changer and it's really not. It's just a nice feature that something has. Ecamm as a whole is a game changer. The fact that like this year, I started experimenting with the NDI and being able to do that. So if you want to show something live on the Rodecaster Pro or somebody asks you a question, it takes a second, like 1 second, to switch and turn that on. Or because like I have a phone that I keep specifically for content creation on the desk. That's one of my older iPhones, and I can keep that plugged into my computer or through the hub. And when I open Ecamm, it automatically sees it. No fuss, no nothing, pulls in the audio. It just works 100% of the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. We got a little segue here. We've got a couple of the LGL fam has to.
Whoop.
They've got some meetings. Diana is taking over the world.
Yes, she
Presentations
is.
that she's giving and educating some people over it. Can I even?
I
say
know
it,
she
Diana? Is
doesn't
that
care
private?
that
can.
we're
You
proud
can.
of her.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was her, I wouldn't care that we were proud of her. But it goes without saying,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
we were mad proud of her. It's kind of dope, bro.
Yeah.
It's
It
kind of
is.
we are in the presence of greatness, and
Yes.
humble greatness at that.
Oh,
And one thing that astonished me real quick is I often, because she's so smooth at it, I often forget
Yes,
she
is.
became a Mac user at 2018, bro.
right.
You understand that? That's
Yeah.
3 years ago. Like prior to that, she was pulling her hair out on the PC, but now
Man.
she's one. Now
Okay.
she's one of us. But that's crazy. As I
Yeah.
process that info in the back of my nugget, I'm like, bruh, that's
Right.
pretty impressive because
It
she
is.
just flows through it like
butter.
like John Wick. It's just Diane the Wick with it. You know what I'm saying?
Diana Wick.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much.
What is it, Diana? You've got some presentations with social media,
Yeah, I actually just got a message from the original, the only Michael Stelzner, and it's just super weird and honoring because you watch people for years and you follow their content and you learn from them and you just absorb from them like a sponge, and so to be like shoulder to shoulder and really learning from them and like him putting me on his platform. So like this week was the social media marketing workshop. So I got a nice mug that they sent me. I've done their YouTube marketing summit. And so today we have our last roundup for that, which is what I'm heading out to. And then even with incredible people like Sean Anthony and just Nikki Saunders doing like the podcast culture on Clubhouse, which is like, I think one of like the first and biggest and probably most significant like event that's happening with, you say again, people say heavy hitters, but like the for real, like goats, when it comes to in their industry for podcast culture. So I got invited to be there and that's on Saturday. And so it's just a lot of incredible and amazing things happening this week. And I'm just super honored and humbled and just, it's a pleasure. It's such an honor.
She's going to take off. And I think our illustrious leader over there to my, oh damn it! I always do it wrong. He's got a meeting too, and Doc, I don't want to get you in trouble with your bosses.
No, we're good. We got like 20 minutes, and I know when they go, I go. I know. I see one of the bosses is here. It's either Katie or Caleb. I'm scared, but
we're gonna switch to a 3-person. Diana, we'll see you later today. Doc, you're going to be Diana for a second, maybe. Who knows what's going to happen when I hit the 3-person?
Okay, listen.
We're going to fix it.
Know is that,
Thank you, Doc.
Don't blame me for your Canon M50 problems.
All right, Diana. You go kill it.
Out, guys.
Go kill it. Peace.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to get hurt later because of this.
Let's see here. I'm going to go with this 3-person here. And
all right, I'll be Diana for a second.
Yeah, you are going to be Diana for a second because you are in Diana's name.
And that's funny. When you say it like that, that sounds super funny. Our pastoral people are going to get mad at us.
So I will leave the names.
You need to focus
on
repurposing your content.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is
all right, so one of the things that I just want to get into because I don't want to fluff us anytime. People need to understand, like, if you really I get it. Okay, listen, everything we tell you, we're telling you from a perspective and experience that we have. Okay, if your mileage varies, let it vary. You don't have to profess it to the world. You don't have to tell the person that's trying to help you that, well, I did it this way. Do it your way, but understand that if it doesn't work out, you can't turn back and say it's our fault because we gave you the advice that you chose not to take. Okay, so let's just start there. So your mileage may vary. I'm going to tell you, don't listen to a word I say. I want you to absorb it, process it, make it work the way it works best for you, and then put it out there. Now, that being said, if you come to the idea after 3-4 streams or even before you start, if you know you're all in person, I'll pick on RK3, right? Robert Kennedy. He touched it. He just like me. He touched the software and he was like, yo, this is legit. Boom, all in. Rearranged the studio, started adjusting everything, got all the things necessary, comes in, pops up on. We did the glow up challenge. And then he thought about it and then he be about it. And the total different streams. I can go down a list of people that did that. India Delgado, one of them, right? She was in there playing around, whatever, kind of got it. I don't, Doc said shit green screen, but I kind of want to because I have to. My situation is different. I'm going to do it correctly. Talk to Jim on the phone. Jim Carroll's green screen king. Hello. Yeah. Talk to Jim on the phone. Ask me a bunch of questions. She went out, put her thing together, and then boom. Hey, we all know what it looked like, right? India was one of the first ones we saw to win. She got mugged for the glow up challenge.
Right.
Right. So when you decide that, okay, I'm in this to win this. Yeah. You go and you make a dedicated tool for the thing. You understand? Like when you are a person, you just got your first apartment, you got to cook for yourself, whatever. You go out, you buy some Rachel Ray knives, right? With little orange handles and whatever from Walmart, and you get your cut on. Then you start realizing through meal prep or through whatever that you really like this cooking thing. The first thing you do is say, bye, Rachel. And you go to the store and you get some shuns or some Wusthof or some custom-made Japanese joints. Whatever, you go out and you get actual knives that will make your cooking process easier, better, safer. Happens every time. Everyone starts out with the pots from Ross, and then they realize they love cooking, and then they up in Williams and Sonoma perusing the aisles looking for, the Le Creuset or the All Clad or something of that nature. Same thing happens with this stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Like when you know you're about it, then you go get the tools that you need necessary, and building a dedicated machine got so much simpler when the M1 came out because your initial investment is somewhere between $700 and $1,800.
Yeah.
Where a low-end MacBook Pro Intel, with enough gumption for streaming is like 24 to 27.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And that's why I shifted a lot of at least our creative team to the M1. The Mac Minis can almost be a mobile setup as well. They're so tiny, you can take them and hit the road like a laptop. Now, is that ideal? No. Is it as efficient and convenient as a laptop? Not really, but it can be done.
I say more efficient, less convenient. It's actually more efficient, but less
more
convenient.
Efficient, less convenient. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah. It's weird. Like we build purpose-built things for a reason, and then I like to tell people this one, and some people will admit it, and some people will defend their spending options. But almost everyone that has an SUV that came from a truck regrets buying an SUV because it's convenient as all get when you need some back seats. Because all of us truck people, we don't really have back seats. Even with the dual cab, the back seat is a little, artificial, right?
Right.
When you go to like carry some folks, then the SUV is wonderful. But at the price that they now become, it's actually cheaper to get a car and the truck. Because the car is great for carrying the bodies, but the truck is good for carrying plywood and lumber and like sacks of stuff or Costco runs or, taking the old washer to the dump or, various things, right? SUV can do none of the above, right? But as much as they cost, though, you would figure, because they all like to talk about how much space they have, but when you start putting stuff in the back of it, it's not really as much room as you think. You know what I'm saying? Like average one sits at like 60, 70 square cubic inches of space in the back. It's not that much in comparison to like a truck where I can literally load that sucker with 2.5 tons of dirt and whatever and clean it real easy when it's over. So a lot of times when people force feed you into these categories of multi-purpose tools that can do everything, you really start to find the cracks when you get to the real world experience. And that's why a dedicated type system is better, because the problem what people are having with laptops is they're not really built for this. They don't do thermals well enough for this. And so everyone's force feeding their laptop to try to be a streaming machine because they have it. That might not be the move, player.
Right.
It might be better for you to go out and drop 700 bones, get yourself a mini, go get you, even if it's only just for streaming, you can get a cheap monitor from the swap meet for 20 bones.
That's absolutely. Yeah, you can get a
You
good
know?
monitor. Go buy a TV, a 32-inch TV for $150 or something now.
I'm
It's
anti that answer,
yeah.
but we won't sidetrack that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
I want to, there's a couple of comments in here. Tony asked if these overlays can be done in Keynote. The basic infrastructure of these overlays absolutely can be done in Keynote.
But they won't.
But these aren't created in Keynote. So, but as
Yeah,
far
we're
as
not Bradley.
as far as the frames and stuff, the way they're set up and stuff, you absolutely could do it. But these were done in Adobe After Effects.
So
and Premiere,
Tony, here's the best way to explain this. You can take any image that is, I'll use this number just because it's easier for me. You can take any image that's 1920 by 1080. It could be an image of the Louvre. It could be an image of the Mona Lisa. It could be an image of the Raiders logo. And then go and take 16 by 9 formatted boxes or circles or 1 by 1 squares or 4 by 3 squares and cut holes in it, and it's an overlay. You can take any image in the world. You can go to Google right now and download any 1920 by 1080 image and cut holes in it with the shape, and it's an overlay. And you can do that with Keynote, Preview, Canvas, Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Designer, Procreate. I can do this for about 3 hours. So
That's right.
people get overcomplicated in like this software versus that software, whatever. If Keynote is easier for you, by all means use it. I love Keynote. Keynote's great, but I'm an Illustrator guy or a Photoshop guy. So after making demos showing people how to do it in Keynote, I was like, yeah, I'm not that good at this. I'm gonna leave this alone. And Bradley goes, no, I'm good at it. Let me show you. And then he blew my mind. I mean, talk about brain exploded. I was over there like scooping brain back up, trying to put it on, had to hide it behind his hat. And I'm like, man, that guy's a god when it comes to Keynote. So yeah, don't get stuck on I need to use Keynote. It's good because you have it, it's free, it's on every device. But if you are more comfortable with Pixelmator or GIMP, you can do it. Any image can cut holes in it. It's transparent PNG wherever you make the hole. That's it.
That's right. All right.
Steve is asking a good question over there.
Yeah.
She said, go ahead, Brian. I mean, David, sorry.
No. I was just pulling in the comments. You can keep it rolling.
Ooh,
No. He just says, I hear people using M1 for dedicated streaming, but there's a problem running other stuff in such an editing software, design software, etc. And I think Doc is about to blow up on that one. Let's go, Doc.
Well, I mean, yeah, I use
there's
it
no
every day.
problem. You do you. But if you want to win, dedicated is dedicated.
Yeah.
Like you can do you.
Right. I have two. And I have one dedicated and one is it runs everything.
You know what's funny? You just gave me a thought process, David. When I started in Final Cut package was 1,400 bones.
Oh wow.
Right? Final Cut original package, Final Cut Studio was 1,400 bones. Do you know right now you can buy 2 separate Mac Minis for that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then add $200 to get the Final Cut.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, the education bundle. But for $1,600, you can have 2 M1s, right? And Final Cut, Motion, Composer, Logic, and Main Stage.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, and I know what everyone does. Everyone does this, myself included. We all do it. It's like, man, well, it's so dope and whatever. Maybe I can just add that one more thing, and it's all good until it's not. It's like Jenga, right? Or it's not. What's the opposite of? Oh, it is Jenga when you pull it and you put it on top. Yeah. It's all good until that last little piece, and you just go like this, and bad word.
Topples over. Yeah.
And obviously, this one right here, the dedicated one, is not plugged in because it's in my hand. So to technically answer your question, yes, you can do all of it on there. Should you, like Doc said, dedicated's dedicated. So.
I will go as far. I will buffer this by saying that the Ecamm and Final Cut together fine because they're not on at the same time. They're not fighting for resources.
Right.
Final Cut doesn't really do a lot with things that connect to the internet when you don't know it.
Right.
But design software, Creative Cloud would be like, hey, here's a good time to start uploading some French words. Yeah. So that's where the design software part can become buggy. It's not going to bog anything down. And plus, the way page memory works in an M1 is completely different from Intel Life. They'll be perfectly fine. But the software that you put on, that's not eCam, you have to be aware if it tends to talk to the internet at random intervals, because that's where you will get bit in the tuchus.
Right.
So put it that way.
Yeah. So I think,
and Adobe's just checking for licensing, by the way. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And I think, kind of the conclusion is, the title of this episode is, should I get the Mac, the M1, the new Apple M1 processor? And a definitive, if you hadn't figured out what our stance is, absolutely, yesterday you should have it, because it's going to be amazing for you as a streamer or as a company, whatever you're using it for. Even if you're not using it for live streaming and stuff, it's just legit. I mean, it's awesome.
It is.
Yeah,
it's really quick. Now, here's a funny thing, and I'm super curious, and I know we're a little jumping the gun, and I hate rumor mill, but there's an announcement in like a week or so. So in theory, not iPads. What's those flat joints I'm looking at right here? iMac is coming.
Right.
In theory, iMac is coming in color, like pink, green, blue, rose gold, and another gray. I would be like through the moon. I think that would be off the chizzy.
Were you the one that shared the article about the new iMacs with the 64 cores and stuff?
Yeah.
That they're talking about?
Because iMac Pro just went away. So there shall probably be, I'm assuming in summer or whatever, a 64 core like iMac Pro style M1. But see, here's what folks do, right? Folks go, oh, but you know what? I'll wait until the next one come out. If you scroll back up to what Keely explained to you, because Keely does it, what I do, if it can move the needle in the business right then and there, you get it and you just sell it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the resale value on something of this nature is so good that you could get it. New joint comes out, sell the old joint for a couple hundred less, and then get right back at it. You know what I'm saying? Because in most business, I can't speak for everyone, but I think even a dude that's selling Nathan's hot dogs on the corner will cover the VIG. That's the difference between what you sell it for and what you bought it for, right?
Right.
Like, so even in a matter of months, say you had to quote unquote eat 1,000, it's never that high. It's like $200 or $300 to be honest. But I'm just trying to give all of the naysayers all the room they want to hang themselves. It's even if it's $1,000, right? The guy selling Nathan's hot dogs on the corner in a matter of 8 months gap has made way more than $1,000.
Right. Yeah,
the little kid cutting lawn in the neighborhood nowadays is making more than that in the course of 8 months. Right. So if it's moving your business and you can get something done, or you have a client that you can write it off with or whatever like that, it's a better play. Right now, if you work in a business where you don't know what's going to happen next, like the stock market or something like that, maybe that's different. But I don't really like to give people room to make excuses like that, because then they'll be blaming why their computer can't do this, knowing that they should do it. Or I'm gonna wait, and then people say I'll wait for the next one, like you're winning. I'm like, right. Bruh, no, you're not winning. You're probably losing.
Well, Doc, you got a meeting in a couple of minutes.
Yes, sir.
Are we? Is there anything else we want to? Do we want to let people know what's coming with Let's Get Live? Maybe.
Sure. Lemuel is coming to everyone's house to make them an official meal. So there'll be a contest
with the soy sauce.
Yeah.
Like you let marinate it.
Yeah.
That you let marinate.
Yeah, marinate. Yeah, we've just produced our content calendar, and we've got our next 50 installments. We won't inundate you with what all the content that we're going to be producing with Let's Get Live, but we do have some really exciting things. You can, if you're not on our email list, head on over to letsget.live. download the free overlay pack if you hadn't grabbed it yet, and that'll get you on our email list. And Friday, we're going to be sending out the content calendar, but we're also going to be sending out the official Let's Get Live Beta Challenge instructions, PDF download and stuff, so that you can, it's going to help you walk through the video every day in April. So that's going to be going out on Friday. So jump on the email list. I don't know what else.
And I want to answer Daph Levy's question real quick. Transforming from Premiere Pro to Final Cut, you kind of probably don't really need the transfer. I mean, I would do it because I'm over Premiere, but you don't have to. Even in emulation mode, Premiere works like ridiculously fast on the M1. If you want to, you have all the time in the world to make that transition slowly and not put yourself under the gun and wreck any production work you have going on, because even in, again, emulation mode, Premiere Pro is basically flawless. But there are tons of videos on YouTube of people that have made the jump either direction that can walk you through some of the stuff in order to get your brain process down. But I literally made that jump way back when Final Cut 1 came out, so I can't remember anything. Like, I go to Premiere Pro now and I'm like, duh. I can do a couple of things, but yeah. So I would say just go ahead and do it. I wouldn't worry about it, at all. It's an easy transition. And I'm just making sure that nobody else had anything. So, and Keely agreed with me. Yeah, try the TV, and then I have a 50 sitting right here. It just doesn't work. It's not the same. Yeah. I mean, people that pull it off, for what Dana's doing with it is different. That's not using it as a monitor. It's as a monitor for a very specific task. Yeah. Confidence monitor. Yeah. All of that. But like as an actual day-to-day monitor, nah. Saint, my favorite Catholic saint happening.
That's so crazy. Hey, Caleb just put up a comment here. Mr. Dempsey himself, Caleb, Mr. Ecamm. It says another something about Apple is their Apple Card has an extra 6% back on Apple purchases and 0% financing feature for their products as well. Y'all, if this ain't the time to get your second M1 Mini, it's the time, everybody. Second one, the second one.
Very, very cool. And Daph, a lot of the things that After Effects do, we can do native in Final Cut. If you buy Final Cut as a production bundle, it comes with motion. Motion covers that. But After Effects, again, works perfectly fine on the M1. So you don't have to switch if you don't want to. I know plenty of people that edit in Final Cut that still use After Effects.
Yeah. Yeah. Our whole team.
Yeah. So don't. You know what it is? The internet loves to make like salt and pepper, Sony, Xbox, Chevy, Ford, Mac, PC, black, white, religious, agnostic. They love to make unnecessary binary fights about everything that have nothing to do with anything. But the person that create the fight is normally making money off of it. So you can normally take that with a grain of salt.
That's good, Doc.
So yeah.
So just to kind of recap,
except the ZV1,
go get yourself some M1s, and also every Thursday we promise not to have as much. I'm going to throw myself under the bus. I'll take responsibility for all of our. Oh my God, what the heck happened in the beginning of today? Live stream. I promise it won't be like that.
No, but now what you should do as a good citizen is go see if you can replicate the issue.
Oh, I've already. Yeah, I'm gonna do it,
and then send the ticket because 3.8 is on the men. Yeah. I gotta bounce. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace. Lemuel.
Peace, Doc.
Lemuel. And now
yes.
It's down to 2. Guest 1. There you are. Hey, Lim. All right. Man, we got our names. Today started out kind of rough, but, I think we did good after we ran through everything. But I will say that I did figure out some tickets that I'm going to open with Ecamm and go help Ken and Glenn and stuff, because I think I dialed in on what the issue was and stuff. So
I have not yet in my almost a year's use of Ecamm, and we're talking about power usage.
A lot.
I have not sent any ticket to Ecamm. I guess I just don't like sending them, number one. But I always want to make sure it's not on my end first. And so I always find out that a lot of it was user issues.
Yeah.
And so I make sure I do what I have to do. I check it out until I cannot get an answer. Even on my own, if I can't get an answer from the community,
Right.
then I push it up. But oftentimes I found an answer for myself, or the Ecamm community has been a help to me. So I've never sent a ticket, apart from the time when I subscribed as a regular subscription, and I needed to subscribe 3 hours later as a pro. That was the only email that I've ever received. And Kathy probably, or Katie rather, probably was the one that handled that email. But that was the only email I sent to Ecamm in regards to anything. And that was, yet again, my fault. So for those that are not yet Ecamm users, I highly suggest and recommend using Ecamm. And for those that are moving from PC, like Steve is,
like everybody,
into the Mac world, welcome. Into the Apple world, welcome. Because being in this platform has just been fantastic, and we are championing Ecamm, as well as today the processor M1 for the Apple Mac Mini. It's a powerful tool, and like I just read from Caleb, I mean, Apple is giving you money back in a sense. You know, 0% financing plus 6%.
Heck, they're paying you to get apples, I think, is what I read, Lemuel. No, but
that's what it's looked like. I already have an extra mini on the cart. It's actually, I have the 8 here at home, what I'm using right now. And I have a 16 on queue. So, whoop. Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Well,
sometimes it's good. Sometimes good things come to those who wait.
That's my current setup. So I'm sure when the M1 or M2, they're talking about M2 and M3 by the end of the year for MacBooks and iMacs and stuff, that, I'm sure I'll probably swap these bad boys out for those, because that's just.
I like what Keely said.
Yeah. Oh no,
Keely
said I put it up there. Yeah.
Yeah. All bug tickets are sourced between keyboard and seat.
All right.
That's great.
I think we're good, Lem. We good?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some website things that we're looking, or that?
Yeah, we can share this stuff.
We can tease it a little bit.
So we do the, obviously you see Let's Get .live on these overlays here. All the socials you can find on Let's Get .live/links. All of the information, the things that we recommend, the places to find us on all the socials is right down there at the other corner. Let's Get .live/links. Now, the full-blown, there you go, Lem, right there. you work it about as good as I do, bro. Point this way, and it's actually this way. I mean, this way.
That's right. That's right. That's my name. There it is.
The website will be live within the next 2 weeks. The full-blown website with the
ready for beta.
Ready for beta, ready for everything. Let's go. We've got a lot of new overlay packs that we've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
We're super excited. We're definitely going to give you guys some more overlay packs to come download and stuff. And we're also going to create some professional overlay packs that, should you choose to, you can go buy them over at Let's Get .live.
And Tony is asking about product list. Yes. Oh, we got also, let's talk about the merch a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, we've got some merch coming. Really super dope, sick merch coming. And that'll launch when the website launches as well. Initially, we're going to launch with, some tees, T-shirts, all types of T-shirts, a really awesome coffee mug. It's not as awesome as yours, Ecamm, because yours is awesome. We're not stealing your mug either, even though we really want to. We want to use it, but we're gonna get our own coffee mug by golly.
Can we surprise? Let's do this, sir. Can I say it now, David? Can I say it now? We're giving away an M&M. M&Ms.
You're killing me, bro. You're killing me.
M&M's. M&M's.
That's what you heard it here first, folks. Lemuel says we're
The
giving
first
away
personal
an
meetup
M,
we're gonna give away M&M's.
M.
M&M.
and M, especially on the M1
That's
episode.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's been so good. Hey, everybody, make sure that you put it on your calendar. If not, set it up as a reminder. Every Thursday we'll be here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, 1 p.m. Central Standard. In the Pacific, we'll be here at 11. And all the way at Doc's, over at Doc's World over there, we'll be live to you Monday his time, Thursday our time at 11.
That's an
At
inside
9
joke.
a.m.
Other people may
Yes,
not
yes,
get
yes.
it, but you
No.
know,
Yeah,
he's in Hawaii, and you know they're a
Yeah.
little bit behind us, at least 4 or 5 days, right, Lemuel?
yeah, exactly. They're still
yeah,
back in the past. They're still trying to come up.
absolutely.
And also want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel,
because
we are about to drop some value to everyone here. And I know we're excited about the company. We're excited about the branding. We're excited about everything that we're doing right now, the website. But our real focus is you, empowering you to level you up. We are your education resource for live streaming to help you become more professional. And we're going to do it at as easy as possible, teach you how to achieve the things that you're wanting to achieve for your live stream in the next coming streams. So we're pumped. We're set.
Yeah, we got some really good things coming. I mean, the content calendar that we put together is going to be very focused on, you know, how to, you know, live stream from a brand new person who's never done it before to advanced veterans who want to improve their streams even more. So we've got some awesome stuff coming. And
yes.
Yeah. So it's a 16 gig in his cart. Absolutely it is. He says he's purchasing it right now.
I'm doing it right now, actually. Look at this. I'm coming into it right now, y'all.
All right, everybody.
6%. We can't help that, man.
We do have some Let's Get Live merch coming soon. Here's an example of my trackpad, and it's you know, it's a pretty, I love it. I think it's awesome.
Oh, want to also let people know, Dave, I think we could let people know about this. We are actually doing some behind the scenes, y'all. So you're going to see the process of us building this company right from the get-go, all the things that are going on in the background. And
our company vlog.
Yes. So you'll see the journey. I don't know what else we're going to call it, but you will see the journey. So we're excited. Hopefully it will give you some value also.
Absolutely. Well, Lemuel, I think it's time to say adios, arrivederci, goodbye, ciao. Come on, what is it in Philippines? Tell me.
O sige.
O sige, everybody.
There you go.
What are we, let's see here. What are we leaving out with, Lem? Let's, you know what? Let's leave out with what we came in with.
That's right.
Because
drop that music. I love it.
That is a dope track. You know.
Yes.
Only in Ecamm can you do all of this amazingness. Peace, everybody.
Take it easy, y'all.